ladies.
What is
Hello.
up, girlies?
It's mom proof.
Woo.
We're mom proof.
Mom proof.
Yeah. It's like a shield.
Find that? Yes.
It's a shield.
Yes.
The
Mom
shield.
proof.
A shield.
Like you can't get to us.
No.
Because we're a mom.
That's right. That's
Right.
right. What if you're not a mom, but you still have the same?
I thought about that the other day
Qualities.
of
Yeah.
mom proof. I think that's just us. It's like you're a blonde or you're
It's
a brunette.
good
We're
one.
just mom. We're
Yeah.
mom proof. Like
Yes.
we can handle things around us.
That's awesome.
Right.
That's
We're not going to let them get to us. We're not going to let the world get to us right now.
No.
There's a lot of stress.
Or
It's
at least
okay.
we're going to put out some tools to
Let's-
help
Yes.
get through it.
Our toolbox.
Yep.
Let's share. We've definitely had enough experience to share a few things.
For sure.
Raising good human beings. What's their
Yes.
purpose in life? How do they figure it out?
That's so
That's the
hard.
book.
That-
Raising good human beings.
Raising Good
Is
Human
it?
Beings, which is one of the books that Sandra was
shoot.
sharing with
Yeah.
us.
I
Sandra,
forgot the exact title. Y'all are
Yeah.
very good at that. I just stay bothered.
you go to
is
Half
my
Price
book.
Books and get lost in there.
I know, I love it.
But it's always,
do
we
that.
always coincide.
I know.
Yes.
Our synergy is crazy.
That is crazy.
It's
I
our
love
Enneagram.
It,
It's our
though.
Enneagram numbers. I was a 3. You're
I was at 8.
7.
Mhm.
Extremely
Yes.
compatible. And that's not even though having a purpose. That's just knowing yourself. But I wonder what the difference is between our kids are traveling on their journey into adulthood, different phases, right? Because we have
Right.
28 kids between us.
Right.
The ages of 2 to 38. or
Yes.
something. No.
Yes.
But we do have a lot of kids. I think how many are between us? You have 6.
I have 6. And
2,
plus, I count.
8. Yeah,
I
10
count
total.
Antone. Anthony, my nephew.
Oh,
Love
of
him.
course.
Yeah. Why? Because I had him his teenage years.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks, Debbie. Love you.
But as they navigate that journey, it's so interesting to try to help them develop purpose, right? So
Yes.
that word is so big. What is your purpose?
I just found out what my purpose was a couple of days
I
ago.
know. Do tell.
Our kids, and now we're asking our kids to find purpose.
Can you
Right?
imagine?
Sometimes it takes a while.
Yeah.
It does take a while.
And guess what? Your purpose can change. I think
so
our
true.
kids need to know that. You can start out one way and
Yes.
go another.
It's just, I think sometimes we put pressure on them. That's part of the pressure, as we talked about that last episode, the parental stress, as we are blaming them for being on their phone too much, or we're blaming them for spending too much time just, not buckling down on their academics. Literally, we might want to take some of our own medicine. If you don't know what your own purpose is, it's okay. Part of it is slowing down
Yeah.
and just being connected to people you care about. I think if one piece we could give people right now, and you don't want to listen to the whole podcast, I would think, because we have a couple nuggets for the end, but one of the ones I think we should talk about today is relationships. And it sounds so stinking basic, but it's so big.
It is.
Yeah,
Our kids are going to model what we do, period.
they are.
Yeah.
Period.
Can you talk about a relationship you've had that you felt like was completely either toxic, but it turned out to be one of the most positive learning experiences you had, or the opposite? Like it was such a good relationship, but you left feeling like you didn't get any nuggets? Or do you know what I'm saying? I don't know. Anyone have a
Ooh,
do
this
tell
is one
story?
of those.
Wow.
you're like, you're clean.
You know what we're both thinking. You just asked that to 2 divorced women.
I was
And we're
thinking
like,
that.
huh?
So, for me, I'll say, when you said that instantly, if I have to go back to what's the first thing you think of, I did. I
You
thought
thought
of my
your
ex.
ex-husband. Yep.
And I do, because I always think of him as somebody who really inspired me to do better.
Boom. That's what I'm talking about
And
right
I
there.
don't-
Hashtag X.
No, he did. And I'm very grateful for that. you know?
That's what I'm saying.
I'm very grateful.
Can you imagine the funk you could get in if we held grudges on relationships that were
Absolutely.
not productive?
I always see things as people come into your life, and sometimes their purpose is, I don't want this to sound rude, but they've served their purpose, or you've both served your purpose.
Yes.
And then at one point you just need to move on. And maybe they have now another journey and you have another journey.
Correct.
And that's what happened with me, that I got to a point where our relationship together served its purpose.
Yeah. Well, you had a couple
And-
kids that are freaking
Yes.
amazing.
And then I wanted to go on a completely different journey than he did.
Mhm.
And that's what we did.
Yeah.
And
That's so cool.
but at the end of the day, I'm not bitter. I'm not, as a matter of fact, I'm trying to get better at this and just being very grateful.
Yeah.
Grateful for knowing
The
him and
reframe.
grateful that
Yeah.
Flip it.
Yeah, because I got a lot of good out of that relationship.
That's awesome. Thank
And
you
I'd
for
rather
sharing
focus
that,
on that
literally.
than the negative.
Talk about a nugget for our kids or our listeners. Jame, anything that you feel similar,
I
maybe?
actually can echo that.
Yeah.
And Sandra and I have had lots of discussion about this. I was married a very long time, have beautiful kids. I don't regret a thing, not one single thing. I am so grateful for the life that I had with that man.
Yes.
And it's true. It's a reason, a season, or a lifetime. I think that was my season in the middle of my life to be a mom, find my career, and find my purpose. And I am grateful to him for having learned so much through the years. And people change, and it's okay. And I think that your kids need to see that people change, and you can get out of a relationship in a loving, amicable way.
Yes.
But there is a reason you get divorced. So that's no.
Do you think that, so we're talking about kids and finding their purpose, and they see, okay, so we know relationships. I mean, that's
What
huge.
about yours? Do you have one?
Yeah.
I
goodness.
see how you're wait a minute.
Dang it. Well, I too have been divorced. And so, but it's been so long now. It's been it's been 25 years. So that's hard to remember. But I do recall being in an apartment by myself, bawling and thanking God at the same time for the amount of gratitude I had that I was at that point and not stuck there. But it's different when it's a family member. So, that's harder. And so as we teach kids about relationships, I think anything that you can do to show them, you have to be graceful, respectful. There's never a positive for treating someone the way they might treat you. Like, we know the golden rule, that's always on the positive. But if someone is terrible to you, never be terrible back. And so that's something I think we're kind of dealing with right now. Yeah. And it's a good lesson for them to see. And it's cute because I'll be like, when I'm 80, you're gonna your ass come to me and tell me you don't want to have a relationship with me? Like maybe we've seen in my family happen to people. That is unacceptable. Let's find a way. Let's
Forgiveness really is key. And I think that is
so
the
good.
Absolute.
Is that not?
That is it. You have to forgive. You have to forgive. I say forgive everybody for everything. It's not easy.
Right.
But my gosh, and teaching your kids to do that is so important.
By modeling.
Yes. Yes.
And it's also like the amount of energy that you use to dislike or whatever you want to call it, hate or talk bad is consuming. And when you let it go, you're giving yourself a gift of freedom of not the more you think about that person, whether it's in a bad way, that's just more power that person is gaining from
100%.
you.
Right. Don't let them live rent free in your head. You've got that one. I like that one.
That's right. So it's like just kind of like you could use that energy to do something else, more creative, move on, find some different avenue, new friends, or whatever the situation may be.
We know social connections literally make the brain so happy. Like those synapses, when they're meeting people and learning about someone, it does fire up the brain. So it's really cool. Now, if the relationship's negative, obviously that can have detrimental effects. But it's a quote from Laurie DeSantos I was telling you about. It's a psychologist that I adore. And she just says, if the tension and toxicity in a homeschooler community, so think about your own home, is strongly felt by those people in the home, you know it's hitting the nervous system. And youth navigate this heaviness of emotion.
They do.
The little babies navigating.
Yeah.
So we want to teach them how to navigate heaviness.
That's right.
That's a tool.
And I will say this is a tough one, but there's a big decision that I had to make when I was deciding to get divorced. And it was, do I stick this out until the kids are out of school or do I do it now? And the choice that I made was to show my daughter what a relationship should look like.
Right.
What you'll take and what you won't take.
Mm-hmm.
So that part is important.
Yeah.
Right? They can feel it in the house. People want to stay together.
Can you imagine if you didn't talk about, that's been obviously
stay together for the
disproven.
kids.
It's like the worst thing.
Right.
But think about the heaviness y'all were able to alleviate, even though there's probably a tipping point, right? There was an inflection point where it went like from bad to worse. And then now you're over here.
Yeah.
And so that modeling is amazing. And so we tell kids, what's your purpose? A lot of times it's figuring out who you are and who you're meant to be with. Like, who's your tribe?
That's right.
That's a purpose, y'all. You know how
And then
hard
you get
work
the
that
old
is?
LML.
Oh,
And
got
I
LML
love my
over here.
I know. LML.
We love you, Eric. And Gary.
Yes.
So that's tough. That's
Yeah.
a tough one.
So and so another piece though, and Sandra, you and I were ad nauseum talking about this in the car, but Jamie, you're wearing the shirt, so I think it matters. Is just what is your purpose? To give back to society. The opposite of selfishness.
Right.
It's selflessness.
It really is.
Staying bothered
And
means
like
what?
staying bothered means finding your passion and doing something positive with it. I'm not bothered about the Starbucks order that was wrong or the guy in front of you that may not be driving well today. You're bothered about things in our world that you can do something about.
Yeah.
You can be passionate and make a difference, whether it's kids, education,
Yeah.
hunger, those poor people in North Carolina right now, in Florida after the hurricanes. People are bothered, do something. Go find something online and give $10. Oftentimes, people don't want to do anything because they think they're not giving enough.
Right.
But just go and give.
Even the $10,
Give.
the $5,
Yeah.
whatever, just or
And
sweat equity.
That
Go
can
do it.
become part of your purpose as you live your life. We're meant to serve. God put us on this earth to serve.
Yeah.
So we don't all know that just yet.
Yes.
But that's what we're meant to do. And our kids, they have to, again, what they see us do
Yeah.
is they learn to figure out what their purpose is.
Absolutely.
Whether it's something special and giving back to women in prison or, me, I could go on. But staying bothered is so important. I want our kids to really, really
I love the concept.
Yeah. And it's always, I think, it's twofold, right? It's like you're giving, but you're also giving to yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Because the feelings that
Self-growth.
you get
Mhm.
from
Endorphin hits.
Yeah, when you're giving, it just, just knowing, like, even with our podcast, which is kind of, I think of it as, just talking and maybe giving somebody a little bit of relief or a little bit like
Comic relief, perhaps?
Yeah, comic relief, or saying, oh, that resonates with me.
Yes.
Or it's not just me, or, our vulnerable moments that we have when we talk about, the things that we've done that we could have done better.
Completely.
It's
That we
just-
hope our kids forgive us for.
I was thinking, I just had this coach that I was talking to,
Oh,
this
yeah, I
great
like that.
executive coach, and she asked me a question. What were one of the things you wish you had done differently in your career?
Oh.
And it was that I didn't get to thank people enough. Like in Caring for Cambodia, when we talk about giving and volunteers, I can't tell you how many times the volunteers busted their butt, got supplies, paid money, went to the schools, helped the kids. I wonder who got more out of it.
You've said that. I
The
love
volunteers, when they got back on that plane, or those kids that benefited from that. And I wish that I had been able to say thank you to every single one. I mean, I got a handful. I was able to do that. So maybe that's something we can talk about with our kids. Fast forward, what's something that you would look back at and say, oh, I wish I'd done this?
That's
How can you do that now moving
Ooh,
forward?
I like that.
Is there
actually.
anything you wish you'd done different? You had a very big career before you went into private practice.
Yeah. I probably being less, this is not going to surprise you, Colonel, being less angry when people couldn't see how much good we wanted to provide for the kids in our community and just fighting a system. So I wish I would have been less, I almost feel
I watched you with that. I remember.
Yeah, you saw me.
Yeah.
Less self-centered because my anger only got in the way. So that's something, I work on all the time, is just releasing anger, releasing annoyance. And that's, thanks, Dad. And I love my dad so much. There's so much about being rigid with belief systems. So you have to be a little more fluid. And I learned that in 28 years in public education.
That's really good, though.
Yeah.
How about you,
Yeah,
Sandra?
and because yours is interesting because you get to be creative too in your
I
work.
know, but I think from a long time ago, I chose to do things that were going to make money instead of doing what I really wanted to do.
Good point.
And I always felt like something's missing, and I kept saying that. And it wasn't until recently that it hit me. It was like, I have to quit chasing this part, or that I need to put that aside, and I need to focus on the giving part. It's
Right, but it brings you joy.
and I, because I will fill my day with things that I want to do, right? Like I want to go work out, I want to obviously I have to work, but so I did just real quick. I volunteered at the foster care village.
The one on Fitzhugh?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I got a text the other day and they needed somebody to deliver some supplies to a grandmother. And it was very last minute, and it was between me going to go work out because it was early or going to go do this. And normally I wouldn't give it up, but I was like, you know what? I need to do things differently. So I went. And anyway, they filled my car up with stuff. I went to drop it off. The lady wasn't home, which I was kind of grateful for because sometimes you do stuff and you're like, oh, I can't wait to see her face and how excited she's going to be,
She's
right?
not you again, right?
Again,
Yes,
right?
yes,
So then I
yes.
left it on the front doorstep. But when I left, I felt so good. And it was just like it hit me. It's like, that's what I like. That's really
So
where
you're doing that now, which is cool. So
Yeah.
you're taking something you wish you had done and now you're doing it. That's
Right.
cool. That's
Because-
perfect.
Yeah, we have room to change.
Yeah.
Yes.
And nothing changes unless something changes.
Yeah, you have to change.
Yeah, you have to do something different.
You
The only
have to
thing
do it
constant
different.
is change.
Yes.
Or is there something like that?
Yes. Yes.
That's a good
So
story.
that goes back to raising good
does.
human beings.
Yeah.
And our kids see that. And
That's
I don't think
purpose.
it's never too late to pivot because life is often about the pivot. So
Oh, good one.
Yeah.
That's a good lesson.
I know that's a whole other episode. The,
The
pivot.
pivots.
It's not the plan, it's the pivot. Yes.
That's awesome.
And it's just like, like we were saying, it's when when we're parenting, we parent in different environments, like because we parented being married, then we parent being divorced, and then you parent, in different situations. You parent when you're under a lot of stress, or you parent when you're in a different, cycle of your life, or you're trying to be more giving, right?
Yeah.
And it's every time that you change, then the way that you are teaching your children changes.
That's
And
true.
it's not that it's good or bad. It's
Yeah.
just that you're just adapting with the way that you feel and what you give.
Well, and that's good because we talked about this too. The basis of most, probably all relationships is trust.
It is trust.
And so there was this great book by Cynthia Wall. She's a licensed social worker, The Courage to Trust. What I like about it is a guide to building deep, lasting relationships. It was very cool, like checklist and bullet points. And
I
so
love workbooks.
I know. So I felt very like a lot of markations in here. Okay. Oh, I don't have my readers on. Okay. You thumb through. It depends on what. But I think trust building is massive.
Yes.
And so with kids, again, purpose. If I was to go right now and tell you the nuggets of purpose of life, it would be relationships,
Yes.
authentic building of
Yes.
relationships, and knowing how to receive trust.
So let me just ask you really quick, because you say that, and a question comes to my mind. Where we tell our kids, don't trust strangers.
Because you build trust.
And then
Trust
how do
isn't
you...
just-
Building takes
Building
time.
takes
Building
time.
trust takes time.
You know how like a kid gets in trouble and you take away this privilege, and then I remember having this argument with my people, well, how do I build the trust back? And I would say it's time.
right.
Over time.
See, there we go. Not
Consistency.
being in a hurry.
Not being
Sometimes
in a
you
hurry.
have to slow down.
Slow down.
Okay. In tight
Dad.
situations,
Dad
are
would
you
tell me.
able to focus on the challenge, avoiding distraction, or negative thoughts?
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah. So just asking you
I
like
think
a
we've
yes or no
grown.
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, and I
There's
like
a
that.
lot. This is good.
I like the book.
it.
I was telling you guys that it talked about, the child part of you, the adult part of you, and the authentic part of you. And there's so much of us that still grapples with stuff from childhood. And you hear the parent voice come in. It's kind
Right.
of authoritative.
Yeah.
But then there's the part of who you are and who you're supposed to be.
Right.
And that's part of that purpose. It's trying to find that voice that's actually your own voice.
God, I wish I'd found that earlier. No regrets. Okay, your turn for the question.
Oh, yes, Sandra, you're up.
My kids. Oh, gosh.
No regrets.
No regrets.
And
Question.
the winner
Okay.
is... Wow, this is
Oh,
long.
Lord. Maybe throw another
gosh.
one.
All
Pick
right.
Another one.
If your teen were to give you a rating on your parenting skills, what do you think would be the most amusing comment in their review?
The amusing comments.
What do you think
Mine
would
is
be
cusses too much.
comment in their review?
Mm.
Too much profanity. That's it. It is.
Amusing. I don't know that when
Is that not
my
amusing?
kids would be so amused. I mean, they do kind of tease me that I have sayings everywhere. It's like, you want a quote, it's on her wall. Or
That's
shit. I mean, I
true.
do get razzed about that.
That's fun.
I mean-
that's better than profanity.
Yeah, well, I did wear a T-shirt on Mother's Day one year that said, "All moms say fuck."
I like that shirt.
I
know.
did. Yeah,
You can't wear
So-
that again. So can you
I
pass
can't.
that around
Yeah.
so we can?
You're right.
Yeah, I know.
I can. Thanks.
You
I
could
will.
wear it
I'll
again.
share it.
What about you?
Wow, amusing.
Is there something amusing or it could be annoying? We could change the question. Something just that's Sandra-ism.
We can do it.
Gosh, there's so many. I think my sarcasm.
That's a good one.
It's I use a lot of sarcasm and I have to watch it sometimes.
Do you
but-
find that you still use it? Well, because they can banter back now, right? So that's kind of fun.
I know, and but it's just they're not finding it funny anymore. They're just not.
Oh yeah,
right,
our
Mom.
kids. I say it all the time. My kids and maybe even other people don't think I'm as funny as I think I am.
You're funny.
Oh, thanks.
That you're
See,
welcome.
that's
See, I
love
know.
you. Oh, okay. I think we're a wrap for today.
Poor
Anything we want to end
girls.
with?
Just remember your purpose is a journey.
It is a journey.
It's a
Thanks
journey.
for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and let's hopefully learn to be a little bit more loving to each other and to ourselves.
Oh.
Yes.
And
That's really good.
let's do a little bit more of catching our negative thoughts.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, we're gonna do that challenge again.
Okay.
We'll tune in next time
Next
to see if we can
time.
do it.
All right.
Thanks,
All right,
ladies.
girls.
Thank
Ciao.
you.
Bye.
Bye.